Hello, it's Jackie Pearson here at the Links Room at the Gosford Golf Club with Lee Shearer, the Coordinator General for the Central Coast. Thank you, Lee. I know you're very busy today. Can you tell us what's going on today?
Today we're having one of our final targeted workshops with industry and other members of the community to work through the final steps in hearing from the people that live in this community about what they see is some of the building blocks going forward. So it's about, consolidation. We've had 6 workshops to date, so this is the final one.
Okay. And so who's coming? Who's here exactly?
Oh, there's a number of people from business. There's a number of people representing places like the Waterfront Alliance and key groups that have participated in the past. The mayors attending, so that's really good. So business people.
And what are you looking for as outcomes?
We're just looking to hear about what people think across this city that needs to be consolidated and brought into the planning going forward. What they really want this city to be.
Okay.
Really, that's what we're here to hear.
So we've heard before that you're working closely with the government architect, that you've had previous consultations with, I believe, other state agencies.
Yes.
What have you learned in the process so far about what Gosford needs?
Well, we've learned that there is a real appetite for things to happen here and to activate this city. We've learned that the people who live and work in this area want a place where they can come and enjoy and play, if you like. We've learned that they certainly want the waterfront to be something more than what it is at the moment. We've learned that people want to come into the Gosford CBD and be able to access nice restaurants and bars and have it full of people almost on a 24/7 basis, rather than having them purge out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, because there's nothing really here for them.
Have they talked to you, the people that you've consulted with so far, about some of the problems, such as lack of parking, and I suppose the fact that there is so much underutilised and really decaying space? There's a fair bit of land banking going on. I know that you can't do anything about what private landowners do with their land, but is there any way that there can be more site activation?
So let's look at the parking issue initially. Yes, I'm aware parking is almost at if it's not almost, it is at an absolute premium. So that is definitely something that we need to address, and particularly when we think about Kibbleplex. Kibbleplex is becoming an issue, a site issue around the decay of the building, etc., and it's privately owned, as we know. But if that Kibbleplex is lost to us, we've got 600 car spaces that we need to accommodate for as well. So we're working with other key agencies, including councils, so local council and RMS, to look at what it is, even if it's temporary parking solutions going forward and how that might unfold. So it's key on our agenda. So that's the parking issue. Yep. The other issue was, I've forgotten, sorry about that.
Underutilisation of...
Yeah, the shop fronts. So there has been discussions around that, and I also know that in the past there has been strategies around activating shop fronts with art displays and things like that. That's certainly something that we'll look at, but I think the key thing is that once you start to build confidence in a city, the activation the land becomes too expensive to keep land banking it, so to speak. So if you can get some key parts really starting to move and people come in and look and see what Gosford's got to offer, that is part of the thing that will activate the city. Now, council's looking at stuff too as well.
Yes, council is one of those land bankers, in fact.
Yes, they do.
And so is your state, and so is state government. State government has a lot of commercial floor space. I don't know how many square metres empty.
Yeah, well, I thought it was all full.
Apparently not, but,
Okay.
but let's talk about
Yeah.
that another time. A little birdie told me, and I can't disclose my sources,
That's okay.
that there's some unveilings happening today, that you've got a few surprises in store. Are you able to tell us about those?
Yeah, I can. So what we're doing is embarking on a full-week intensive community campaign where we want to hear from the community, the broad community of the Central Coast, about what they want to see for the Gosford CBD. This building of cities is absolutely integral to the way forward for this region. Gosford is so important from a region perspective because the city, it's the designated city, it's the driver of economic development, it's the driver of jobs if you get it right. It is the area where people will want to come to. So it's not just about people who live right in Gosford. This piece of paradise is actually integral to the whole of the Central Coast. So we need to stretch our wings as widely as we can to get as much feed in from the community. So we are launching a website for contribution and feedback from the broader community.
Can you give us roughly how to find it?
Go Gosford, go Gosford. And there's a photo competition for people to participate. We want to hear about what people love about Gosford. There are 2 surveys that people can fill in online and answer some questions and some freewheeling about really what they like about and what they want to see this city to be. So our reach is really starting to stretch out. We're also opening our information centre, which is on the corner of Mann and Donaldson Street. You won't miss it. It has a big yellow facade around, or yellow integrated into the rest of the visuals, which has evolve, and that's intended. We need to evolve. We need to evolve from where we are into something new.
So part of the evolution that you've been speaking about is that the work you're doing with the government architect builds on other initiatives such as our City, Our Destiny master plan. The elephant in the room, though, is the fact that the cultural precinct, which was supposed to be on the waterfront, is now a mixed-use zone with 2 big and potentially 1 more, if not more, office buildings, mixed-use commercial space. Is there a proposition, is there a possibility that another space could be considered for that cultural and recreational precinct?
Look, we're working through a whole lot of ideas presently. The Leagues Club field is certainly ripe for nice green open space. I know there's community disquiet about the buildings that have been placed on the fringe, really. But those days now, it's been prosecuted, the decision's been made. We need to look to what the benefits of that site's bringing us, and it's bringing 1,000 jobs, and that means people in the area. That's just with the government, the federal government and the state government sites. St Heliers have the rest of that land, but they are confined to the back. They're not building on the Leagues Club car park. The opportunities that exist for us to have that open frontage down onto that Leagues Club area are enormous. So the St Heliers are going through that planning now. So I think we need to look really at the positives that brings to us. There is discussion, what I would describe as vigorous discussion at the moment around the Regional Performing Arts Centre. We are, as a state government, looking at what the council has proposed or is proposing. Nothing formal's been put to us, so we are looking at a window closing, and I don't want to see that happening. So we're now in vigorous discussion with a whole lot of parties about where that Regional Performing Arts Centre should go.
On that note, and this will be my last question, I know you're busy, there seems to now be a sense of urgency at the local government level that we may be on the slippery slope towards a state, well, we are on the slope towards a state election and potentially a federal election, and there's two buckets of money, regional library, regional performing arts centre, that need to be transferred, I suppose, into the coffers of the local government before they're lost. However, with that comes a risk that the vision and the long-term thinking are jeopardised. Are you willing to offer your hand, I suppose, and that of the government architect, to work with local government to ensure that they have a long-term vision when they are looking at how to secure that funding?
Look, I'm absolutely committed to offering a hand if I'm asked. This funding commitment was given in 2015. We are now, as you would expect, governments who put that money up, so to speak, with some conditions that are attached to it, one of them being with the RPAC, or the Regional Performing Arts Centre, it's very clear that that funding was conditional upon having a conservatorium co-located. Now, we have a conservatorium in Gosford, and it's in one of our very old heritage buildings that the state government owns. So it's a bit unfortunate that conversations have been delayed until now. I'm happy to participate in any conversations, but the state government is very clear about the rules, if you like, and the conditions of that funding grant and how that should go forward. The site that was discussed right back in the day was Poppy Park. It seems that some of the workers disclosed that particular park or area space is not big enough for what's proposed. I haven't unpacked that, I haven't been shown that work, but I'm more than happy to sit round the table and get a resolution. I don't want to see that money lost from the Central Coast, but we haven't been the lead on that.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay,
I hope
thank
it
you.
goes well today.
Thank you.